We are here with our head women's lacrosse coach here at UVA-Wise, Meghan Dennehy, getting ready for the start of the 2024 season. Some very exciting stuff. Meghan, I know you're very excited to get going. You've had the team pictures taken. You guys have been practicing, and now it's just about time to get that season started. Let's start when we look at the prospect of the 2024 season. The SAC preseason poll just came out a couple days ago. You guys, one of the highest teams picked this season here at UVA-Wise, fourth in the SAC in the preseason, just behind Limestone at third, Newberry at second, and Wingate up there at first. I wanted to ask you about that right away. That's one of the better rankings you guys have had. Obviously, a good season last year. What kind of motivation? Obviously there's some positives and it feels good to be picked fourth and be picked that high, but also some motivation to catch those teams in front of you.
Oh, the motivation will always stand to catch those team in front of us. I think that it was great ranking. I'm proud of the team and they deserve that ranking. And we're really excited to get out there and show that, hey, maybe we'll finish higher than that. And that's what we're striving for every day.
We talked about that good season last year. You guys won 11-7 on the year, 6-3 at home, a very good home record. One thing that stands out to me going in from last year, shifting to this year, a couple losses last year. Of those seven, three of them were within 3 goals or less. Two of them were 1 goals, and the one that stands out, the first loss of the year, was to Lee in overtime by a single goal. That's your season opener on the road, a chance to get revenge against them.
Oh yeah, we've played Lee I think every year, the last several years at least, and yeah, we've never beat them. So that's our motivation going into game one. I think that we're bringing back some stud, returners. We've got a lot of freshmen that are adding to that dynamic. And that's exciting. I think that they're ready to go. We're prepared. It's been a short preseason, which sure, I think that we would love an extra week, but at the same time, they're also eager to go. So we're excited to see what kind of show we put on tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So for the fans at home, some key dates. The home opener will be next Friday. That's February 9th. You guys are going to take on Converse for that one. First conference game is at home just a little bit after that. Anderson right here, February 15th. You've got senior day on April 6th, the last home Saturday of the season. And then obviously the game that everybody has circled, March 27th. Emory and Henry comes to town to take on you guys. What are some big dates that you're looking forward to, and maybe some teams you're looking to take on this year?
I mean, any of the SAC games are huge, right? Our conference is very strong for women's lacrosse. We're usually always going to have someone represent in regionals, and so there's no game that's guaranteed. At least that's the message that we're going out and saying. And we've had some close ones in the past year, so we've got to show up and make sure that we're giving it our all. And I always say, if we play like we know how to, I don't care if it's a win or loss. That's all I can ask for, and that's what we're determined to do.
So before we get a little bit deeper into the specifics of the players you've got for this season and coming up this year, I want to transition from last year back again into this year. What are some areas that you're looking for your team to improve on from last year, and what has kind of been your focus in this preseason getting ready for this year as far as X's and O's go?
Yeah, I think that we've kind of introduced some more things on offense and defense, fine-tuned some of our go-to plays on both ends. We're really trying to with the rule changes and there being now this green card that can come into effect and make us play man down more often than not. We've really tried to make sure that our body defense is clean, so we're not putting ourselves in a man down situation. And then on the flip, we've been doing a lot more man up, making sure that we're capitalizing, finishing those shots, really just looking to work with each other, right? We can't be just individuals out in that field when we're on the offensive end. We're going to, create more opportunities if we're working together. So that's kind of been our go-to. We want to finish no matter what position we're in. So if it's on the 8 meter, let's put it away. Let's take advantage of that. And so I think those are kind of the keys that we've been looking for, just quick ball movement, and playing smart.
So looking at the preseason all conference selections, you guys boast four of them this year, a very good number, obviously something to be very proud of. Two underclassmen, two upperclassmen in that. As far as the upperclassmen goes, it's junior attacker Abby Stofflin. She combined with sophomore Caitlin Schultz, who's also on the preseason all conference selection. Those two combined for 68 goals last year, coming back with a lot of offense for those two this year.
Yeah, Abby is definitely going to be that leader on offense for us, kind of taking control since we have kind of a younger team. And we're definitely looking for her to, I think, blow her stats out of the water. I think she's someone that we're going to be counting on to go out there, and she's got the ability to do so. So we're excited about that. I think that when it comes to Caitlin, same thing. She's going to do great things for us as well. Who else we had? We had Paige and Taryn on the defensive end.
Yep.
It's funny. I think four, you kind of mentioned it's a good number. We've got so many more that I think missed out. Every week but we've been doing like this depth chart that's been an experiment, but I think good. And it's really allowed us to realize how much depth we actually have. It's been hard to pick what we think our starting lineup is going to be because we have so many talented players that aren't going to be able to start since we can only pick 12. So I think that's what's going to be our advantage this year is that, there's plenty of teams out there that might have 40 on their roster, but maybe they only have 15 to 18 that can actually go out there and play. That's not the case for us. We have a lot more than that. So we're gonna make sure that we take advantage of that, keeping our legs fresh, and giving the experience to those younger guys.
Yeah, those two defenders that you mentioned, Paige Volpone, the senior and a captain for you guys, 50 caused turnovers last year, and then Taryn Moreno, a sophomore who collected 20 ground balls. Taryn and Caitlin, two sophomores out of the four that you get on the preseason all conference selection. I imagine as a head coach, you're always looking to the future. It's got to be exciting to have two young players like that be on your all conference early season
Oh, for
selection.
sure, for sure. And I think that, going back to Paige, she's been a great leader down there on the defensive side with us being young. I think last year, out of our seven field players that were on the defensive side, I think five were freshmen. And so, she did a great job with Cam last year of mentoring these players to be where we are, to have that honor out of Taryn. So definitely exciting things there too.
And that's a perfect segue into our next topic. Kind of looking at the roster breakdown this year. Didn't lose a ton. Did lose four seniors, and you mentioned a younger team, 19 underclassmen, 10 of them freshmen. But you do bring back four upperclassmen. Obviously, you mentioned Paige. Who else from the upperclassmen that have been here a while are you looking to kind of be leaders for those 19 underclassmen that we talked about?
Yeah, so we've got Paige in the mix there. We've got Liv. She's one of our goalies who's brought some great leadership qualities in the net for us, really taking charge of that defense. We've got Mallory, definitely is a one that I think no one will forget when we play against them. Actually shocked she was left off, but it's gonna give her some fuel to the fire. So we're excited for Mal as well. I mean, it's just an exciting group. I think that we've got a lot of potential, and I can't wait to see what we do this year. And the goal is definitely to finish above that ranking, if not higher.
And I think it's easy for a lot of people from the outside to look at those numbers and say, okay, 19 underclassmen out of the 27 players you have. And like we said, 10 freshmen, that might be a difficult thing to handle.
Yeah.
From your perspective as a head coach, what are some advantages of that, of having such a young team in a year where you're picked to still finish pretty high?
I mean, they kind of go in not necessarily like knowing what to expect, and that's kind of an advantage. I mean, like, in years past, some people are like, gosh, Wingate, Wingate, Wingate. And there can be some intimidation based on the past experiences. But what the freshmen don't know is that is kind of good, right? They go out there and they just play like it's another team, and that's who they are. I mean, all of these teams are out there doing exactly what we're doing on a daily basis, going to school, going to classes, coming out to the field, and there's no difference. It's just a matter of who believes in themselves at the end of the day. Who's going to carry that confidence to get the job done when it matters. And it's a lot, right? Being an athlete has that pressure to it. And so we just try to make sure that we're putting him in those pressure situations so that when the game's on the line, they're going to put it away.
Well, we're very excited to see how you guys perform this year and get you guys back here on campus for that first home game that we mentioned. That's next Friday, February 9th. That's coming up at 6 o'clock against Converse. And then obviously very good luck to you guys on the road tomorrow in the home opener at Lee, 1 p.m. Should be a good season. We're very excited for it. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks so much.